Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm very happy to be here today with you. Thank you for the invitation. Once again, my name is Frantisek Siling, and I'm the General Manager of Air France-KLM here in Poland. When thinking about sustainability in aviation, most people think about reducing our impact on climate change. For sure, this is an important topic, focus area, but sustainability addresses much more. It is our mission to lead the industry in delivering the economic and social value of network aviation in a sustainable way. We achieve this by securing the well-being of all the people who make our product, by reducing our impact on the planet, and by making our products and services more sustainable. Or in short, we care about our customers, our people, and our planet. The post-pandemic world will no longer be the same. The fundamentals of our strategy, including our commitment to sustainability, will remain and will further accelerate, as well as our aim to make a significant contribution to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals in connection with our activities. In a sector that is likely to undergo profound changes, it is essential to cooperate and be connected to work on a responsible recovery. We have set targets to reduce our carbon intensity in 2030 by minus 50% carbon emissions per passengers per kilometer compared to the 2005 levels. Particular action were taken in 2019, primarily through the fleet renewal plans. We placed orders for new, quieter, and less kerosene-consuming aircrafts, such as Airbus A350 or Boeing Dreamliners. It is worth mentioning that KLM's newest and the most environmental friendly aircraft, Embraer 195 E2, was first introduced just on the route between Amsterdam and Warsaw. The COVID-19 crisis accelerated the process of retiring less suited aircraft in our environmental roadmap, such as the most polluting Airbus A380 or iconic Boeing 747. These developments have a positive impact on our environmental footprint. Air France has also made the commitment to offset all domestic flights, while KLM has announced its participation in the first European plan for sustainable aviation fuel. In 2019, we again ranked first on the Dow Jones Sustainability Index, positioning us as an industry leader in terms of sustainability and overall corporate social responsibility. In my presentation, I will focus on our ways of combating carbon emissions, but I will also show you a brilliant and innovative example of waste management. Aviation's contribution to man-made greenhouse gas emissions is currently between 2 and 3%, but the number of passengers is growing. Decarbonization of other sectors is going faster, and if no action is taken from our side, aviation's contribution in the global man-made carbon emissions will increase over 20% in the coming decades. And yes, we realize aviation is far from sustainable today, even if we have been and we are working hard to improve every aspect of our business. We are proud to be at the top of the airlines category of the Dow Jones Sustainability Index, and we have been in the top for 16 years in a row. But we need to do more, and we cannot do it alone. What is being done by Air France-KLM to reduce emissions? We have modernized our fleet, I mentioned it already, investing in a more efficient, modern aircraft that use less fuel. such as the Airbus A350 and Embraer 195-E2. We are also working on innovative, completely new aircraft design with our partner university, TU Delft. I will show you later. We are improving operational efficiency. Our pilots are trained for the most efficient use of fuel procedures and optimization of the flight paths. We are focusing on the reduction of the weight of the aircrafts, installing lighter seats, equipment, catering, and even paint. And the last but not least, we are developing and using sustainable aviation fuel, an alternative to fossil jet fuel, which until now has been the most effective way of reducing carbon footprints. So let me tell you a bit about our innovations. In 2019, KLM, together with the Delft University of Technology, presented a flying scale model of the innovative project of the aircraft of the future, so-called the Flying V. This is planned to be one of the most energy-efficient aircraft types used for long distances. In the Flying V aircraft, passengers, cargo, and fuel tanks are all located in the wings. Thanks to the aerodynamic shape of the aircraft, indeed a V shape, and its lower weight, the fuel consumption is 20% less than of the Airbus A350. The Flying V can accommodate approximately the same number of passengers as the Airbus A350, up to 314 passengers, and has also the same wingspan. As a result, it can easily use existing gates and taxiways. And what's more, it can easily be adapted to make use of innovation in the propulsion system by using electrically boosted turbofans. So how the Fly V really look like, I would like to show you. So please play video number 1. Yes, I hope that you like this exciting project. Now, let me introduce you another important innovation. SAF Sustainable, it stands for Sustainable Aviation Fuel. Currently, the most impactful change on behalf of the environment is using sustainable aviation fuel, which could reduce the carbon emissions up to 85% compared to fossil kerosene. We began developing sustainable fuel in 2009. In 2011, we flew our first commercial flight using biofuel. And in 2012, we launched the Corporate Sustainable Aviation Fuel Program for corporations. Today, we are using 57 times more sustainable fuel than we used in 2011, although it is still only 0.18% of our total fuel use. So the production of sustainable fuel is still far below what is needed. Together with Sky NRG, we will soon open the first sustainable aviation fuel plant in the Netherlands. The plant will produce the aviation fuel from regional organic waste feedstock, such as used cooking oil and residue from other industries within the Benelux region. And what is SAF, Sustainable Aviation Fuel? This is a fuel made from the waste product, such as used cooking oil, wood residues, and another renewable resources, which is converted into fuel that is comparable to the normal jet fuel. It is produced in a cleaner, circular process and contributes to a circular economy. Currently, we are blending sustainable aviation fuel with normal fossil fuel, but it is not yet available on a larger scale. Air France and KLM are actively contributing to the SAF production. Sorry, I'm back.
Okay, we have 6 minutes.
Yeah, thank you. We must remember that one of the biofuel is not every biofuel is suitable for SAF. It must meet certain sustainability criteria, example, limited freshwater requirements, no deforestation, or no competition with the meat production, food production. The sustainability of feedstock for SAF is carefully checked. For example, KLM doesn't like to fly on the palm oil, as cutting out the rainforest for palm tree plantation is not a suitable solution. The current feedstock we use for the production of SAF is used cooking oil, which is easy to convert into the jet fuel. But because its availability is limited, we investigate in other feedstock like tobacco oil, camelina oil, wood residues, or synthetic kerosene. These are abundant, but technically more challenging to process. Another innovation in the field of airline fuel is synthetic kerosene. It consists of water, CO2 absorbed from the industry, and renewable energy coming from the wind and sun. This January, KLM carried out the world's first passenger flight that was partly flown on sustainably produced synthetic kerosene on the route between Amsterdam and Madrid. This first flight is an important milestone in the development of sustainable synthetic kerosene as a viable alternative to fossil-based fuels and a significant step towards a sustainable future. The Netherlands wants to stimulate the development and application of sustainable aviation fuel in order that European airlines will be able to fly entirely on sustainable fuel by 2050. Today, less than 0.1% for KLM 0.18% of the roughly 300 million tons of the jet fuel used by commercial airlines is sustainable aviation fuel. This is not enough to make a difference. This amount needs to be drastically increased in order to create significant impact on carbon emissions. Therefore, Air France and KLM invites customers, partners, stakeholders, and the entire airline industry to contribute in financing and developing this technology. Every company in all industries can do its part for sustainable aviation. By partnering in the corporate SAF program, they can pay a fee that covers the difference between kerosene and sustainable aviation fuel. We partner with these companies to stimulate the availability of SAF on a larger scale. And our current partners include Microsoft, ABN AMRO, Sodra, or Arcadis. As I mentioned before, we reduce environmental footprints by lowering carbon emissions. But there are also other areas where there is room for improvement, such as noise reduction, sustainable catering, water-saving cleaning of aircraft, or reduction of non-recyclable waste. Let me show you an example of innovation which helps to reduce waste. Have you heard that KLM is the world's first airlines to recycle PET bottles to make tools used to repair and maintain its aircraft? Empty bottles are collected at the end of every flight and transformed into the filament, which is a material used in the 3D printers. And this process means that empty water bottle can ends up as a 3D printed tool or service parts such as plugs, covers, or other elements used in the maintenance. Let me show you how it is done. So please, video number 2. Let me finish my presentation with KLM's Fly Responsibly initiative. Being the oldest airlines in the world still existing under its original name, KLM feels responsible for civil aviation's impact on the climate. Therefore, already 2 years ago, KLM launched its unique and daring initiative called Fly Responsibly. The aim of this Fly Responsibly initiative is to make the world aware of our shared responsibility when it comes to traveling. We are in this together. We work hard to get these things right, but all parties involved need to join forces to create a sustainable future. What can you do in addition to carefully considering your travel plans? Here is a short movie for inspiration. Thank you very much and see you soon next time.
Look at it go. Still feels like magic, doesn't it? Do you remember your first flight? We do. Even though it was 100 years ago. Going here, and ooh yeah, even here. People have really gotten the hang of it. It's changed our world forever. But 100 years of aviation comes with great responsibility. Because you want our children to get to know this beautiful world too, right? That's why we're working night and day to improve flying for the next 100 years. But we can only make it possible together. That's why we want to ask you something. To fly more responsibly. Do you always have to meet face to face? Could you take the train instead? Could you contribute by compensating your CO2 emissions or packing light? We, the first commercial airline in the world, today kindly invite you, all travelers in the aviation industry, to join forces. To join us in making the world aware of our shared responsibility. We all have to fly every now and then. But next time, think about flying responsibly.
So with this video, we're finishing the presentation.